one sound, one story at a time.
Hi friends, welcome to the very first episode of Layers in Motion, your podcast for peeling back the layers of life. No matter if you're having breakfast, out for a walk, or on your way to a first date right now, I'm glad you're here. Today, we're kicking things off by diving into our first layer, when purpose fades. That strange quiet moment that can sneak up on you once a project is complete. The celebration has passed, and suddenly, things feel still. Maybe too still. This space is all about embracing the messy, confusing, and beautiful journey of figuring life out. With every episode, I'll be exploring a layer that's been present in my life lately. Something I've also been noticing in my friend groups and communities. These layers will center around themes like adulthood, self-care, life abroad, and those in-between moments we all go through. To bring these moments to life, I'll be sharing solo episodes like this one, personal reflections, storytelling, and maybe even the occasional guided meditation. I will also be having conversations with guests, people whose stories connect with the themes we're exploring, whether it's building community, finding a sense of home, or navigating their own path in unique ways. I'm excited to hear their perspectives. My hope is that these stories, whether my own or from my guests, will leave you feeling energized, inspired, and ready to fully embrace your own journey. I'm starting this podcast because I'm in the middle of a layer myself right now, and I believe that sharing these thoughts and talking about them is one of the best ways to start figuring things out. I obviously don't have the answers, but I really believe that sharing is where we start. So why layers? Well, because especially in your 20s and 30s, so much is happening at once. Mental health, physical health, family dynamics, emotions, love, lust, professional goals, finding a home. Nothing is simply black and white and straightforward. It's always layered and in motion, never quite settled. In my case, these layers have involved moving around a lot, searching for my place in the world, coming into my own professionally and personally, finding my people, and just figuring out what I actually want from it all. So let me tell you where this all began for me. I'm 27, originally from Germany, and currently based in Spain. Right now, I'm in the middle of this exact situation we're talking about. A year ago, I packed up my life to pursue a master's in Spain. I was more invested than I'd been in a long time. And today, I'm sitting here with my degree, about to move cities for a temporary job. And while I have something lined up, that sense of clear, long-term purpose has completely shifted. To be real, I never really planned to do a master's in the first place. After working in the quote-unquote real world for a few years post-undergrad, going back to school wasn't really on my radar. But I wasn't satisfied with the jobs I had. I wanted more meaning, more creativity, more challenges. But I didn't really know how to find all that. I was in this 9-to-5 job and felt like I wasn't really growing. I felt stuck. I had moved back to my city where I was born, thought this could be where I finally belonged, but I quickly realized that the type of people I met there weren't it for me. It was very local, and everything seemed stuck in its old ways. And the only light at the end of the tunnel was my part-time job at the art center that allowed me to dream again. In a way, it reconnected me with my childhood. Growing up in the early 2000s, Disney Channel's Hannah Montana and Wizards of Waverly Place were my royal empire. I was infatuated. Those shows made it seem like you could live the best of both worlds, or that with just a bit of imagination, you could transform your everyday life into an adventure. As an adult, however, I had kind of lost that dreaming part of life, but it started to come back and made me excited about possibilities again. So one day, the idea of pursuing a master's degree started to fester in my mind, It gave me direction, purpose. So I took a risk. It was big, a little terrifying. I knew why I was doing it, though. I knew it was the right decision, the right field, and exactly where I was supposed to be. I had a goal, a timeline, a reason to get up in the morning. And wow, it was so worth it. For the first time in my academic life, I was genuinely excited. Yeah, it might sound nerdy, but I couldn't believe my luck learning about these topics that fascinated me. There was creative freedom in the assignments. I explored so many things I never would have expected, and I felt my purpose, deeply. And now, almost exactly a year later, there are no deadlines. No courses, no assignments. No structure to lean on, just 1,000 next steps to consider. Feeling lost suddenly, not having a purpose. But I did it, right? I got the master's degree. Isn't it a great achievement? Am I not proud? I should be, right? So why do I feel so low? Turns out there is a name for this. Post-project depression or post-achievement depression. While it's not an official clinical term, it's widely experienced. But here's what I've realized. This isn't just about graduation. This feeling shows up after job changes, relationship endings, moving cities, finishing any big project that had been giving you life structure and meaning. If I think back a few years, I've been here before, especially working festivals. Very intense, short phases of work where you spend every day with the same people, morning to night. You start the day together, end it together, almost like a little family. And then it ends, abruptly. It also kind of reminds me of a night out, you know? You party hard, music's blasting, lights are dim and flickering. Everything feels alive. And then suddenly, boom, the sun comes up, the harsh lights in the club switch on, reality hits. What felt like a high just moments ago turns into, my head hurts. Wait, where am I? That emotional hangover, when all the noise dies down and what's left is just you, feeling a bit raw and dazed. I believe the thing no one tells you about purpose is how much of your identity becomes wrapped up in it. Not just what you do, but why you do it, and who you become while doing it. When it's gone, it feels like losing a piece of yourself. It's actually a form of grief, mourning the loss of structure, community, identity. And this is especially intense in your 20s and 30s, when so many life layers are shifting at once. Everyone's life looks so different. Some people are starting families, having kids. Others are taking a year off to travel and backpack around Thailand. Some have stable friend groups, the same ones they've had since first grade, of course, all seemingly having found their place in life, their relationships, their purpose. Others are sitting there wondering if they're behind, not in on some secret. But aren't we all allowed to be on our own timeline? Then why does it feel so intense? Shouldn't we have sorted this out by now? Shouldn't we know where we want to live, what we want to do, who we want to be around? While we wrestle with those questions internally, our surroundings can make them feel even louder. Because purpose doesn't exist in isolation. It's always tied to where we are, who we're with, and the layers we're navigating at the time. So now, the city where I had studied, lived, and grown for the past year no longer feels the same. And I wake up wondering, what am I even doing here? Who am I? Where do I belong without that clear purpose as my security blanket? It's not quite homesickness for a place. It's homesickness for that sense of belonging I'd built over the past months. Life had felt familiar and settled. And now, that feeling had shifted. It's a reminder of how the same place and experiences can feel completely different depending on where you are in your journey. But the thing is, I find it equally confusing no matter where I am, because in the end, we always take ourselves with us, right? No matter where we go. So, how do we cope with this low? What happens when the purpose fades? When the why starts to blur? We live in a world that tells us we always need to know what's next, that we should constantly be building, progressing, improving. And the void can get loud fast. To manage this phase and find some grounding, one of my close friends who just graduated with me recommended a book to me, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Maybe you've heard of it. It's mostly about reconnecting with your creativity, especially when you're feeling stuck or lost. Seemed like a good idea, so I bought the book. One of the first things it has you do is write quote-unquote morning pages. 3 pages by hand, first thing in the morning, every day. I mean, I've journaled before, but doing multiple pages every morning felt like a lot, especially when my brain is just waking up. But I gave it a shot, and the idea is really that you write whatever's on your mind. No structure, no editing, no expectations. It could be what you dreamt about, your to-do list, something that's been bothering you, or just random thoughts like, I need to buy milk, or I don't know what to write. The point is to clear out the mental clutter and make space for whatever the day might bring. And little rituals like that help me stay grounded. Even as I move again, I can remind myself that it's okay to be in transition. I'm taking this step intentionally, following what feels right in the moment. No one made me do this. No one made me come here. I made that decision. So maybe that's the right thing for now. No expectations, no rushing, just existing, taking a breath, looking around, listening. I try to tell myself that there is a plan in motion for each and every one of us. And maybe we just need to trust that. To take initiative, sure, but also allow it to unfold. Because in the end, uncertain in-between moments are part of moving forward, right? Maybe purpose isn't something you find once and keep forever. Maybe it's more fluid than that. Something that comes and goes, shifts and grows, and never fully leaves. It exists all around you, sometimes loud and magnetic, sometimes quiet and rooted inside. So if you're in a season of uncertainty, if your why is slipping or shifting, try to remember, we're human, always in motion, always enough, always figuring it out. This in-between moment isn't a setback, it's just part of life, changing, growing, and becoming. So try to allow yourself to live in uncertainty and be okay with it. Trust your gut when making your next moves, even when they're not permanent solutions. And maybe ask yourself, what part of your identity is tied to your purpose? And who are you without it? Aren't you still the person you've always been, even as things shift around you? Thanks for being here with me for this in-between moment. If you want to follow along, you can find me on Instagram at layersinmotionpod. And if you enjoyed this episode, feel free to subscribe and maybe share it with someone who might like it too. I'll see you right back here in 2 weeks. Until then, bye friends.